as we go, for sure. And what I may do is just have Heather go ahead and start record, and we'll jump right in. And if any of you got the invite or saw the picture on the Zoom for tonight, it was I'm going to actually bring that picture up and show you what that picture is. And there was a quote on there, and I learned that it's from Abraham Lincoln, and that is, let me give us the, why don't we go ahead and present? There we go. The quote was, I didn't put it on this slide, but it was, "The best way to predict the future is to create it." I'm just going to repeat that one more time. The best way to predict the future is to create it. And I just want to tell you a little story about myself. When I was in high school, we all had to do a project. It was really a research project. And we can pick a topic. We could just pick any topic we would like. And at the time, I was a junior in high school, and the topic I chose was the secret of success. And that's actually why I titled it this, because it reminded me back when I was in high school. And I actually got all these self-help books, success is like an apple, don't eat the whole thing or something. I got all these crazy success books and read through them, took notes, copious notes, and created my own understanding of what success means and how to create it. And what I learned is they all kind of came full circle. There's a lot of overlap in all those different books, and what you'll start to learn is there's some certain principles that move you forward in life, and there's some principles that don't. And so what I want to share with you today is those principles that move us forward in whatever space we'd like to move forward. So I just want to kind of go through some steps. And honestly, there's a lot of different things you could do, but I really want to give you this guidance. And I want you to be thinking, coaches and clients in here, I'm going to ask, at the end for some really, just some situations where you yourselves, I'm just kind of messing with this because I want to get it out of my line of sight here. There we go. If I put it right here, sorry, you guys, technical difficulties. I want you to think about how you have utilized these steps in your particular journeys, and it may be in your health journey, or it may be in a different journey that you've been on for your own health or for your own life, success and whatever it may be. So step one, assess your current reality. Now, if you are here, likely you have done a health assessment with a coach. And in this process, we really kind of establish your current reality and figure out, where you are in time and space and what that means to you. And there's a lot of areas you can consider when you're assessing that current reality. You could take a look at your physical health. Where are you physically? How much do you weigh? That's actually just a really easy measurement. There's all sorts of measurements you could take with your physical health. There's, of course, blood tests, blood work. There's your A1C levels. I mean, there's a lot of different things that can go into this aspect of physical health. And just recognizing where you are, what your current reality is, this is actually a great way to propel you into action. And most people get propelled into action when they actually face the reality of where they are and they're not satisfied. It doesn't match with where they want to be. So taking a minute, what are you eating? What's your eating patterns? What are your habits when it comes to physicality and exercise? Emotional and mental health is another area you might want to consider. Your stress level, where you are with your relationships. Are you feeling like you have positive, happy relationships where you're connecting in an authentic way with people? Are you able to take the time to spend with your children, with your spouse or coworkers? Are you able to have the freedom of spending some time doing some hobbies or doing some traveling, the things you love, so that you actually can live the life you want to live? Where are you in your financial health? This is a huge impact. Financial health has a huge impact on our physical and our mental and emotional well-being. And if we take a minute and kind of assess those areas, you might come to terms and realize, wow, you know, I'm doing pretty well in this one area, but I would love to really make some progress. And I put down here a couple of different things you can do if you're not sure exactly how to assess your current reality, or if you feel like maybe you're not really facing the real truth of your current reality. Number one, the very first thing I put is to do Dr. A's health assessment. And in the Habits of Health, you will find it. And I love this health assessment for so many reasons, but one of the reasons I love it, and I come back to it and do it again and again, is that I get to actually see specifically little areas where I go, wow, you know, I marked pretty low on that one area, and it's an action. It's like I can change that. I can actually do something different so that I can get a better score the next time I do it. And it's not about the score really, but it's what it's about is it changes your actual health and your physicality. The second thing you can do is speak to your health coach. What a powerful tool that we all have. Every single one of us has a coach. Every coach has a coach. Every client has a coach. We're one big network of strength and community, and being able to speak candidly with your health coach is key. Being authentic and open, and just seeing where you are. And then make a list of it. And I would really encourage you to be really specific. You know, go through different things and mark, you know, this is where I am. This is how I feel. This is how I present. This is where I, you know, in each area, take that time. Step 2, decide. This is actually a huge step. I'm going to kind of talk through this. Decide what you want to create. And here I just pulled up some various pictures here that I think really kind of help us to envision what our future can be, what it can look like. And I put time to dream. And I remember when I first started on program, and I remember attending an event, and one of the speakers got up and said, what do you dream? What kind of life do you dream of? Sit down and dream. Sit down with your spouse and dream with them. And I was like, what? I don't have any dreams. Like I'm living my dream, I guess. I don't know. I'm just a mom. You know, I just sort of like, I didn't have the eyes to actually dream and to open up my eyes and dream. And I want to kind of point out some of these pictures here and what they might represent. The one up in the upper right is a picture of a family. You know, what are your relationships? How are you treating the people in your life? How are you serving the people in your life? How do you present to your spouse or your children when they come in the room? Are you frowning? Are you angry? Are you tired? Are you out of energy? Or when they come in, do they feel welcomed by your smile and your love and your warmth? What do you want to create? Today's the day you create those things. Today's the day that you draw a line in the sand and you decide what it is you want to create. You can see here there's a husband-wife paying bills. What are your dreams together? Like, what are your dreams of what you want to financially create? And we're going to address this actually later at 7:00. We're going to actually talk about how to do this and some tools that we have and some exciting stories actually. And I'm looking forward to that component of tonight's webinar. But maybe it's a physical change. You see this gal, she's looking at her future self. And what does that mean to you? How is that going to feel? What's it going to look like? And I would say, don't just imagine one little thing. Imagine what it tastes like, looks like, feels like, everything. How does it feel to put on that bikini? How does it feel to be able to maybe it fit into the airplane seats without squeezing in and having painful, sides? Whatever it is, dream a little and get clear on your why. And this is the third step. I would say this step is something that cannot be skipped. Actually, none of these steps can be skipped. When you're trying to accomplish a big dream or a big goal, you have to get clear on why you want that. and what it looks like. And that getting clear has to be so specific. So I put some ideas of some questions you can ask yourself. When I accomplish X, Y, and Z, when I accomplish my goal, how will I look? How will I feel? What will I be able to do that I'm not doing now? How will this impact my relationships, my family, my children, my coworkers, the people I interact with? How will this impact me and my family? Getting very, very clear on that is going to be super key. And I would actually even add in here, having a visual of it is so powerful. So I'm just going to make it really easy on myself. If you're trying to lose weight, this is just there's a lot of different goals you could have, but if that was your goal to lose weight, find a picture of when you were slimmer. Or maybe even cut out some pictures from a magazine and post them up of what your goal is. If you want to be healthy and fit and lean and whatever it is, find some visuals of that. And, your brain is so plastic. It's so flexible. It can grow new paths. So we want to help you grow those new paths. And part of it is actions, but part of it is honestly just getting it in your brain, just getting that into your brain that you will get there. And I know many coaches on this line right now who have gotten to amazing places that they never would have dreamed of if they didn't just dream of it. And they did, which is exciting. Step number 4, share your goals with a supportive community. This is such a key component. Being a part of this community is huge for your health and for your financial and healthy mind and healthy emotional connections. This is kind of a key component that is really, really challenging for most people, but the more vulnerable you become, the more likely you are to succeed. This is a principle of success. When you become vulnerable, you become more successful. The more cloaked and hidden and tucked away you are, the less likely you are to succeed, which is sort of counterintuitive. You think to yourself, I just want to not fail. I want to hide away and not fail. But the reality is, if you kind of open yourself up and live your journey out loud with your friends, family, neighbors, it becomes so much more likely that you'll achieve that goal. So level 1 accountability, I would say, is this picture of this gal thinking to herself, yes, no, maybe. I'll do this quick example. I work out in the morning with a good friend of mine across the street, and she is devoted. She's like, we are on every day. We do it 6 a.m. We're doing this. And so there are days, I tell you what, my alarm goes off at 5:45 and I think, oh my goodness. If I did not have to meet her, I would seriously not wake up right now. Does anyone else do that? And, but so if it was just up to me, I would have probably some days where I'm like, the answer is no, I stay asleep, right? But because I have done the second level of accountability, I'm going to show you this picture. You can see that level 2 is where you share with a friend, one person. You've connected with one person, and I'm going to kind of let that one person be your health coach in this instance. You are connecting with one person. You've shared your goals with one person. You know you're going to accomplish it. You're asking for that accountability. Well, what happens when you open that circle up to two other people? So not just your coach, but maybe another coach on the team. And many of you have done that when you've done your 1 week call where you're with one coach and that your coach introduces you to another coach, and you might have shared some of your goals with that secondary coach. And that's a key component. Now what happens when you start opening it up to your world, where you start turning to your friends and family and neighbor and saying, you know what, I want you to know that I'm actually putting my health first right now. And I'm working with a health coach side by side, and I'm serious about changing what my current reality is. I'm so serious about it that you probably won't see me eating cake and ice cream and popcorn and cookies and pizza like you might normally have done in the past with me. But I am so serious about my goal, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited to really make these changes. Your friends will support you, and if they're not, then maybe they're not the best friends, you know? Good friends want good things for you. Step 5, making a fundamental choice. And this is actually all covered in Dr. A's Habits of Health. And so if you want to really kind of dig into this a little more deeply, you can turn to his chapters. It's chapters 2 through 5, where you really kind of understand what these are. But I'm going to define a few things for you so you can understand, because it is a little bit confusing when you go through it in the book, and I want to really help everybody understand this. He talks about 3 different levels of choices we make. He talks about, number 1, like kind of the base line of a fundamental choice. And I'm just going to define it here as a choice we make to become. It's a creation choice. It's a powerful life-altering decision. Okay. And then everything else comes into alignment with that choice. So an example of that might be, I am a fit and healthy person. That is my fundamental choice. You know, that is bam, like everything comes into alignment with that. That is who I am. When you've actually in your mind, you've built that neurological path to create that connection of that is who I am. And you might even have images to help you think of that. You might even have words or phrases that you say every day to yourself so that you remember what you're doing with your life. That fundamental choice is a key moment in your life where you say, that's what I choose. Okay. And you can choose this in a lot of different areas of health. And we can talk about that, but I'm just going to kind of use this as an example. Your primary choices are the next building block on top of that foundation. It's the choices that we it's the choices that we make to specify and quantify our fundamental choice. So for example, if you are a fit and healthy person, what are the primary choices that you're going to be making, that you're going to want to make sure that you are attaining? That is, you might be at a 22 BMI. Like, I'm just doing an example. I have energy to run 1 mile without stopping to rest at all. I sleep very well for 7 hours every night. These are primary choices. You know, these are that next fundamental building block on top of the foundation that you've already made. And then the secondary choices, these are like the tiny nitty gritties. These are the like little, oops, oh no, what have I done? Here we go, bring this back. There we go. These are the little nitty gritty choices that we make, day-to-day nitty gritties. So what are we doing to make those primary choices like happen, right? I eat 6 times a day on program, and everybody's doing a different health program. Some might be doing a 5-in-1, some might be doing a 4-in-2. Some of you might be doing a 3-in-3 or Whole Foods, whatever your needs may be, whatever you are doing. But let's say you say, I eat 6 times a day. I drink 80 ounces of water and I exercise 30 minutes a day, 5 times a week. Whatever it is that fits your lifestyle, definitely check with your health coach and make sure that those secondary choices are actually supporting your primary and fundamental choices. So you might even be in a situation where you're with some friends, you know, you're at a restaurant. Maybe everybody at the end is getting the melted chocolate cake with steamy volcano peanut butter pouring out of it. And you might say to yourself, wow, that looks so good. I want that, right? It's sort of this short-term desire to have something yummy. But then you might take a minute and assess, does that actually fulfill my fundamental choice, which is I am a fit and healthy person? Does that actually move me towards, like, so maybe you're in a place where you have to, you know, lose some weight or whatever. Does that actually move me toward my primary choices? And if it's not moving you in those directions, then probably it's not a secondary choice you want to make, right? So taking that time to really stop and challenge your decision can be a huge a huge benefit, and understanding that fundamental choice is going to be key. Step 6, understanding the cycle of success. And this is actually something that this was my thesis, actually, when I was a junior in high school. This is what I learned from all those books. In order to succeed, you must take action. So action is required, followed by mistakes. Mistakes are required. You cannot succeed without mistakes. So you're going to have some action, you're going to have some mistakes, and then you're going to have some reflecting and learning and growing time where you get to correct your mistakes. And then guess what? You got to put it into action again. Action, mistakes, repeat. Action, mistakes, learning, repeat. You just keep that cycle going, and there is absolutely no stopping you. There is no stopping you from success. I love what we have here at Optavia because we have every tool in place. Every tool is there for you. There's nothing stopping you from having 100% success on your goals, whether they be financial, whether they be physical, or whether they be, maybe it's finding meaning and purpose, or maybe it's building and strengthening your relationships. Taking that time to kind of go through these 6 steps, I think will be well worth your time investment and creating that future. Honestly, predict your future today, you guys. I'm going to stop my share for a second here. Take the time. I implore you, take the time to predict your future today by creating it. You're only one choice away from your future. You get to choose how your future looks, how it feels, who's in it, who's in that future. You get to pick it. It's your decision. And when you actually kind of connect those dots and make that fundamental choice, I have a powerful understanding that actually, God or the universe or whatever you may believe in or contemplate, that there's a way that kind of comes around and hits you back. It's like you cast the bread upon the waters and it'll come back buttered and toasted. So let's all make these choices. Let's sit down and make those fundamental choices. I have taken up so much time, but I want to take a second and have you guys jump off mute. I know there are people on here who have experienced this process, and I would love to hear about it. So I'm going to be quiet now, and I'm going to ask those of you who want to jump in and share, or even if you have a question about it, let's clarify some stuff. Go ahead and hit your mute button to come off mute. Don't be afraid, people.
Joanna, what exactly was it you wanted us to share?
Your experience with creating success in your life, and it might, in any degree. And I know, Annalie, you're ready to share too, but I want to hear from this gentleman. What's your name?
Dan Ditto.
Dan Ditto. Awesome.
Yes. Well, on this program, it's been awesome. The program works. It's the first thing that I've had that really works. It's phenomenal. So, I mean, that's really exciting for me. I'm down 39, almost 40 pounds today.
Wow. Round of applause. That's awesome.
In 7 weeks. So it's been a great journey. Heather's been supportive and awesome. So thanks, Heather. But the thing that I think is so awesome is that it actually works, and it works for everybody. As far as I can tell,
yeah.
As long as you make it, as long as you apply it. So, but I think success basically is a factor of one, making a decision, like you said before. Fundamentally, you have to make a decision. Second, it's a lot of work, and you just have to stay focused on that objective, whatever it is. And it really helps if you've defined what success is, because I think you don't know if you succeeded unless you defined what it is you want. So that's all pretty basic, and it's pretty consistent with what you're saying. But fundamentally, I think that's what it takes.
Dan, thank you so much. I love what you said about you have to define it.
Yeah.
Taking that time to define it is key.
And Dan's a new health coach, if I'm thinking right. Ain't that right, Dan?
I am. Yeah.
Dan, welcome.
It was a blessed night, or this morning, or however you want to look at it.
Heck yeah, Dan. When I seen that, I thought, oh, yeah, here comes an old senior coach right here, right away.
You inspired me, Billy,
Oh, thank you, Dan. I appreciate that. You've inspired me. Like, as soon as I seen you jump on like 7 weeks ago, I was like, go. You're going to feel great.
That's so great. Dan, you're going the whole way. I have no doubt. You've linked arms with a community that's not going to let go of you.
Well, they better not. Could be in trouble if they do.
Yeah.
No, I think that's what's great about it, having that kind of support.
Yeah.
And seeing success by other people as well. So, yeah, it's tremendous. I just think it's awesome.
It's awesome. Thanks.
So much. Thanks to everybody.
Annalie, did you have something you wanted to add?
Sure. I remember I had a vision board before I got started, and the only thing it had on it was a picture of me when I was skinnier. So, and that was all I could dream about, honestly. I couldn't seem to go further than that. And now that I'm almost there, I just barely redid my vision board, and I feel so much more free to dream, because I can see the possibilities, which it's so exciting to me. I feel like I have more energy. And it helps, of course, that I'm a health coach too, because like you were talking about the accountability, and the likelihood of success. So yeah, I'm super excited now that I feel like I can dream again. It makes a big difference, and I feel happier. So.
Oh, awesome, Annalie. Yeah, the being able to dream, that's been a huge thing for me too. So I don't know why I couldn't dream before Optavia, but now that I guess when you start to see that you can accomplish things, it just makes you so much more excited to dream.
Yeah.
I have one thing I'd like to add about success.
What's that, Billy?
So if you're a person that if you're a person that thinks that success is something that's out of reach, it's probably because you don't realize that you're already doing something that's the other side of success, that is like the counteractive side. When you fail, you know what succeeding actually is, because you know that you actually failed. And so the other side of that is knowing what success is on the other side. You're like, okay, well, if it fell that way, that's what success is. And so then you got to really look at it, and you're like, okay, so why did I fail? You got to understand failure, I think, more than anything when you understand success. And if we're here, it's because we failed a lot, and you know where you're going right with it. So when you have the success, it's probably because wherever you failed, you're like, okay, why did I fail? Okay, it's because the mountain was pretty big, and I wasn't prepped for it yet. I wasn't all the way thinking right on it. And so you broke it down, and I think the biggest thing to success, and it sounds cliche, and it's the thing that everybody thinks about, it's learning how to eat the elephant. It's one little bite at a time. So successes are a lot better when you break them down into 10, 50, 100 successes. And you know what? It's so much more joyful to celebrate the 10 steps than celebrating the one. I mean, celebrate. I mean, you really got to understand success, and success is addictive. Yeah. But whenever you think that you don't know what success is, you got to really understand you actually do, because you failed before.
Oh, my goodness.
And it's the other side. And that's the great thing, because no matter what you want to think, oh, I ain't had that many successes. Well, you just got to know how to attack it better. And the way you attacked it is really understand your failure. And if you failed a lot, you've already got the catalyst to start succeeding.
Awesome, really Billy. Do. That's like mic drop right there. Seriously. I don't need to add anything else. What he said, that's the truth. There you go. You got the gospel truth. You know what success is. Now go do. Now, before we close up, this is just ending up our portion. And I don't know if we're going to continue recording through the whole right into the coaching exploring here. But I'm going to just say, you guys, it's such a pleasure and a privilege to be a part of this amazing community. And I'm so excited for right now, we're rolling right into the next presentation, and it's going to be really about sharing stories of our own personal stories as coaches, and really give you that window into what coaching looks like, what